Hello. Today I'm going to be doing a review on Pardo Polymer Clay. This is a new clay for us that we are going to be releasing this week at the Little Craft House. As you can see, there are a few different ranges, including art clay, jewellery clay, as well as a mica clay. The first thing that you've probably noticed is this handy little blister pack that is resealable, so it's perfect for storing your open clays. You'll also notice that the names and colours can be found on either the back of the pack, just there, otherwise they are on the front of the pack. In the top corner of the pack, you may notice a little clue on what makes this clay different. It's actually made from beeswax, so it features a cute little bee in that top corner. Being made from beeswax does, however, mean that you need to treat your Pardo slightly different to how you would treat your regular, more familiar brands of polymer clay. Let's start with some jewellery clay. I would compare the firmness of this to being similar to Fimo. To condition the Pardo, you must warm it and soften it with your hands and acrylic roller before attempting to put it through a pasta machine or clay conditioner. You need to soften the wax components to make it pliable, otherwise it will just crumble. Today's quite a warm day, so softening it's quite quickly. However, in winter, I would imagine that it would take a lot longer. Next up, we have the art clay. This one is firmer again, and I've heard really good things about this being used for caning. Not really something I do, however, I can see that it would hold its shape really well as it is a firmer clay. One thing I did notice is that the roller ended up having a slight waxy residue, but it was just wiped off easily with a cloth. Once conditioned and rolled out, the clay cut beautifully with my shape cutters. It wasn't tough at all. Once baked, another difference became quite obvious. The wax seems to melt and come to the surface of the pieces. The green, the beige and the gold on my tray here are all Pardo. I baked these pieces according to their packet, which was 120 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. As the clay cooled, you can see that it's been left with these waxy spots. We need to remove those waxy spots, especially if you're planning on putting a varnish on the top of your clay. As you can see, the waxy spots are more obvious on some colours such as the green than on other colours. Now these pieces I have here are still quite unfinished and rough as I haven't sanded them off yet, but I thought we'd just deal with these waxy coating first before we went on to do anything else. So I tried a couple of methods to find out which would be the best at removing this waxy coating. So first I thought I would just try a baby wipe, as I always seem to have lots of these on hand in my studio. So I just gave them a quick rub and wipe over just to see what would happen. It seemed to work quite well, removing the obvious spots, and it still left that waxy feeling on the pieces. Next up, I thought I would try a bit of isopropyl alcohol on some paper towel. I just gave a small squirt of the isopropyl and then gave a little rub on the piece. This seemed to remove most of the spots, and it also removed part of the waxy feeling that was left on the top of the clay. The final method I thought I would try is with a tea towel. So just taking a piece and giving it a bit of a rub and buff on the tea towel. You can see on the darker patches of the fabric where the wax has come off. So it definitely worked. It also gave the pieces a nice shine. So even if I was originally planning on glossing these with a varnish, I probably wouldn't need to. Overall, I think that the tea towel method actually worked best, and I think that this would be the most easiest thing to do whilst working in my workroom. I also wanted to do a quick little strength test on the piece. Now, I do not believe that your polymer clay should fold in half. I do not like it when people bend their clay right over, so I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do is just give it a little bend and put a bit of pressure on it, and it seems to take that. So I'm happy with that. You wouldn't put more pressure than that on a pair of earrings, so I'm happy with that strength. Now, another thing that I wanted to do was just compare the baked colour of the clay to the raw colour. So it is actually pretty spot on. Oops. Oh dear. So there's not really a lot of colour difference. Slightly darker. But not a huge difference. Something I didn't mention before was that Pardo Polymer Clay can be mixed with any of your other polymer clay brands, such as Sculpey or Fimo or even Cernit. Overall, I've really enjoyed working with the Pardo Polymer Clay. I think it's going to be a great addition to my other clays that I have, and I would definitely use it in my everyday making. Thank you for joining me today and following my little journey learning about Pardo Polymer Clay. As I said in the beginning, I am only just discovering this clay, and I'm sure there is plenty more to learn. If you already use Pardo and have any tips, please leave them in the comment section for us all to read. And be sure to pop along over to my Instagram, as I'll be sharing more Pardo projects over there in the next few weeks. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!